Hello and welcome to Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online. My name is Kelly and I'm a former wedding planner and blogger, and I'm obsessed with weddings. If you're planning a wedding in Ireland, you're in the right place. You're going to learn the tried and tested methods to planning your dream wedding without the added stress. Think of this as your one-stop shop for everything to do with planning your wedding in Ireland. With me, your new wedding planning bestie, and a cup of tea. This is Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online. Well, hello and welcome to Wedding Wednesdays. My name is Kelly, I am your host, and we have just come to the end of a month-long series all about what to do when you've just gotten engaged and you want to start planning your wedding. So this is the final episode, and we're talking all about choosing your wedding style and colors, but I'll tell you what we've done for the rest of the month. We started with a list of which suppliers to book first. Then in episode 2, I went through some wedding terminology where I shared common phrases and words that you'll hear in your wedding planning journey and what they mean. And then last week, I spoke about choosing your wedding date and different things to keep in mind, such as your wedding venue or your wedding date, which one comes first. We explained all of that in the previous 3 episodes, but today we're going through the wedding style and colors. Now, one of the first questions that you'll be asked as a newly engaged couple is, have you set a date? Or what colors have you chosen? People are so interested to know what your wedding is going to be like. And if you've looked at Pinterest, you might be feeling a bit overwhelmed because there are so many color palettes, so many themes, different styles. Couples have done so many really fun, unique, and creative things. And you might be feeling a little bit confused and not sure where to begin. So I'm going to walk you through things to consider so that your wedding style and the colors that you choose, they feel like they're the right ones for you, for the season you're getting married in, and thinking about the things that you like as a couple. The first thing I want you to think about is, what do you love? Simple. When you're looking through your wardrobe, what colors do you see a lot of? When you're thinking about things that you enjoy, let's think about things in real life. So, is there a theme that you and your other half both really love? For example, a TV show, a book, or an activity that you've really bonded over? Is there a place that you've traveled to that you really loved? Maybe you guys really love music or travel in general, or maybe you've bonded over board games or Marvel superhero movies. Whatever it is, my advice is to resist the urge to choose something just because it looks really good online. Instead, choose something that has meaning to you. You want people to see a theme or a color palette that's based on your interests, something that you've bonded over, that will make them say, oh my gosh, that is so them. Because that's what you want it to be. It's all about you. Something else that you can think about is this. What do you want your wedding to feel like? I'm going to give you some words to give you a little bit of an idea of what some different weddings feel like. And I want you to think about which of those best describes what you want your wedding to feel like. So, for example, do you want your wedding to feel romantic? What about sophisticated, relaxed, or elegant? Do you want your dinner to feel like a big family-style banquet dinner? Or are you after more of a formal sit-down dinner atmosphere? None of those are wrong. They're all amazing ways to celebrate your wedding, but some of them probably stood out to you more than others. So if you know how you want your wedding to feel, how you want the celebration to feel, how you want your guests to feel when they're there, you can base your theme on that. So, for example, if you are thinking of having a relaxed, beachy kind of wedding, then of course you're not going to go for large formal venues. And if you're looking for a romantic atmosphere, then you're going to want to choose lots of candles and romantic lighting. So as you can tell, the way that you want your wedding to feel will really help you to narrow down some of the details in deciding on your colors and your style. As you start to unpack your style, the next step is to put a name to it. Now, it's going to feel a little bit strange, but putting words to your style is actually very helpful for you as you do your planning, and also to your suppliers as you start to get them involved in the decor, the flowers, the stationery, the dress design, all the elements coming together. Having a name for your style can really, really help. So think about things like this. You could either be very, very specific, like a romantic Disney wedding with a Halloween twist. Or you could be a bit more vague, but still helpful, like beachy or boho. Now, it's also a great time to put words into a theme if you're having one. So something like woodlands or nautical. I'm going to have a note here for you that using the word unique is not a helpful way to define your wedding. All weddings are unique. Every wedding has elements from two people coming together. There's always going to be something very special, very unique to you. And so it goes without saying that your wedding will be unique. But if you use the word unique to describe your wedding, it's not a helpful way to help your suppliers to understand your vision by only saying it's unique. You need to try and find words to explain what makes it unique to you as a couple so that your suppliers can help bring your vision to life. So something else you can think about with your style is your venue. So if you have already chosen a venue, that's going to help you because by that point you would have a date. So that would mean you would know what season you're getting married in. You would have a location. So that would help you to know a bit about the style of the venue. Some venues have what's considered a blank canvas. It's a neutral backdrop that you can really come in and do whatever you want with. But other venues have a bit of character to them, and that character can help you dictate the style of your whole wedding. It can be the inspiration. So have a look at the wedding venue that you've got, if you have one, and see if there's any inspiration there that you can use for your wedding style and the colors you choose. Now, there are two things that I want you to think about when it comes to colors. You've got your theme. You know your wedding style, you've even put a name to it, but the colors that go with it are really going to help bring that theme to life. And these are 4 things that you can think about when it comes to choosing the colors, and then I'm going to help you choose the color palette after that. So first, the season. Don't be limited to this, but the season might help you. So I mentioned I got married on the 1st of May in a couple of episodes ago, and the 1st of May in South Africa, which is where we were at the time, that is right in the middle of autumn. And I love the idea of having gold because of the autumn leaves and pink because it's my favorite color. So we went for a pink and gold woodlands wedding. And so that helped us because the season was really appropriate and it allowed us to have some shades of gold and some pink in there as well. Something else to consider is flowers. When you choose your colors, think about the flowers that you like. Do you want lots of baby's breath? Well, what about being deliberate about loads of touches of white all throughout your wedding? What about your flower budget? How many flowers do you want? How many can you have? Think about that because the colors of the flowers that you choose could really help you to narrow down your color palette. The next item is your attire. So now brides, you don't have to wear a white dress. Grooms, you don't have to wear a black, grey or blue suit. You can wear whatever you want. And if you want to go out there and do something a bit different, the colors that you choose to wear could impact your overall wedding color theme. And finally, your wedding party's outfits. Same thing, not just the colors, but also the style of the dresses that the bridesmaids wear. For example, do you want the bridesmaids in short casual dresses for your beachy wedding? Or maybe stripy bow ties for the groomsmen for the nautical theme? Have a think about what you picture people wearing, and that will help you to narrow down your theme. Now, the final item we're going to look at is your color palette. And there are 4 different options when it comes to a color palette. So anybody who wants to have multiple colors will get to choose a 2nd, 3rd, or even 4th color to add to the palette. So I mentioned before that mine was pink and gold. It was actually like a blush pink and a champagne gold. So they were on the lighter colors, but they were still in contrast to one another because that metallic really shone through. So your options are option 1, stick with what you've chosen and then add a neutral color. So you could add a neutral color like beige, cream, or mocha, for example, and you add that with something pastel or glitzy, and metallic. So the idea is to have some contrast in tones with your color. Option 2, choose 2 colors that are complementary to one another. So these are colors that are on the opposites of the color wheel. Option 3 is analogous. These are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So they're very similar to each other, but they all fit really well, and they're essentially different shades of the same color. And option 4 is you can have different shades. They're kind of monochromatic. So as you can tell, there are lots of ways that you can choose colors that fit well with each other, that fit well with your theme, and that really highlight who you are as a couple and what makes you special and things that you have bonded over. So I'm going to give you a quick recap of some of these things that we've discussed today in choosing your wedding style and colors. First, what do you love? What have you bonded over? How about what do you want your wedding to feel like? So we listed words like romantic, sophisticated, relaxed, and elegant. What about naming your style? You can be really specific or a little bit vague, but whatever you choose, unique is not a helpful word because your wedding will be unique no matter what you do. Think about your wedding venue if you have one, then narrow down the colors and create your beautiful color palette. Thank you for listening today. The Wedding Wednesdays at Weddings Online podcast is produced by me, Kelly, and mixed, mastered, and edited by Glenn Hartman. For more wedding planning tips, advice, checklists, and more, visit weddingsonline.ie.